Good morning. This is Stephen C, and you are at Steve OC's on TikTok. It is Sunday, June 1st, 2025, 11 a.m. Central Time. Welcome to this Course in Miracles review, this daily Course in Miracles review, in which we cover the lesson for the day from the Course in Miracles and a corresponding portion of the text for approximately the next 60 minutes or so. We will be engaging in a spiritual practice, a spiritual discipline, in order to facilitate our own awakening, our remembering of the truth of who and what we are. So, welcome. Thanks for being here. I'm here, as I have said, every day at 11 a.m. Central Time. If you missed the live, or if you would like to review more material, you can go to my YouTube channel, where every episode, every transmission, every live since January 1st has been uploaded over on YouTube. The link is in the account bio. You can find the link in my bio, or you can search at Steve OC's on YouTube, STEVOSEES, or Stephen C on YouTube. There are over 125 hours of discussion of esoteric subjects, metaphysics, the Bible, our spirituality, starting from the platform, starting with the framework of the Course in Miracles, but expanding from there. So once again, welcome. Please share this live, like this live. Follow the account. And feel free to comment. Please leave your comments in the comments section. I like to begin every live transmission by reading the introduction to the Course in Miracles in order to establish a vibration that matches the vibration of the Course in Miracles, in order to ground ourselves in this material. And so the introduction to the Course reads, "This is a Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. The Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. This course can therefore be summed up very simply in this way: nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And so those two paragraphs, the introduction to the text, the introduction to the Course in Miracles, sets out very succinctly, very directly, what this text is about. You can also read a little more deeply in the preface, which describes what the Course in Miracles is, how it came about, and how to use it. The course is divided into 3 books: a text, a workbook, and a manual for teachers. We begin each day by reviewing the lesson for the day from the workbook. And today, Sunday, June 1st, 2025, we are on lesson 152. Everybody knows the rules. 1 lesson per day. This is the 152nd day of the year. And so lesson 152 says, the power of decision is my own. The power of decision is my own. I am in charge of my own salvation. I can decide for the kingdom of heaven. I can decide for my own salvation. A decision, as the Course in Miracles says, involves a choice. So there must be at least two ways to go. And in fact, the Course says there are two ways to go. The Course says, let's simplify this. Let's make it about one decision. There's one decision to make, which will answer all decisions that are necessary to make. The Course says, what is your decision for? We have been reviewing those ideas the last couple of weeks. So the Course says, what is your decision for? Is it for the truth or is it for more deception? Would you like to continue to operate and perceive illusions, deceptions? Would you care to be involved in self-abnegation? Or would you like to choose the Holy Spirit? Would you like to choose a new teacher? Would you like to listen to a new voice within yourself? The voice of the Holy Spirit, which is the bridge back to God. And so the power of decision is my own. There is an aspect within me, you could call it the soul, which chooses between, if you've seen Animal House, and recall the scene I am talking about where our hero in the scene has a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other shoulder. They're both talking to him. And he has to make a decision. Does he listen to the little devil in his one ear, or does he listen to the angel or the Holy Spirit in his other ear? So let's see what else the Course in Miracles has to say from lesson 152, that the power of decision is my own. No one can suffer loss unless it be his own decision. No one can suffer unless it be his own decision. Loss is my own decision. No one suffers pain except his choice elects this state for him. So again, I am in charge of my own salvation, my own resurrection, or I am in charge of my own crucifixion, as the Course in Miracles says. So I have to make a decision. Do I decide for an ongoing crucifixion, suffering, and pain, or do I decide for the kingdom of heaven, relief, joy, happiness, peace, love, and fulfillment? That is the question before us. No one can grieve, nor fear, nor think him sick, unless these are the outcomes that he wants, and no one dies without his own consent. Nothing occurs but represents your wish, and nothing is omitted that you choose. Here is your world, complete in all its details. Here is its whole reality for you, and it is only here salvation is. Salvation is here and now. Now, this is a pretty radical opening paragraph, which says, if I am suffering, if I am in pain, if I am poor, weak, unfulfilled, ill, insane, not feeling well, it is my own choice. I have chosen this for myself. And this is the solution, of course. This is the decision I must make to reclaim my own power, to reclaim the truth of my own beings. So that first paragraph of lesson 152, which you can find online if you do not have the text, if you do not have a copy of the Course in Miracles, you can find it online at ACIM.org, Foundation for Inner Peace, the publishers of the Course in Miracles. The entire text and lessons are online. And so in this opening paragraph, which you can read for yourself, and please read the Course in Miracles, study these lessons. My salvation is up to me. All the power in my decision belongs to me. The decision to save myself, the decision to return to an awareness, reignite the awareness of my oneness with my source, my unity with God consciousness, my vibrational harmony or coherence, my vibrational match to the vibration of spirit. That power resides in me. It is my own power, and so I can reclaim my own power. You may believe, this commentary continues, you may believe that this position is extreme and too inclusive to be true. Yet, can truth have exceptions? If you have the gift of everything, can loss be real? Can pain be part of peace, or grief of joy? Can fear and sickness enter in a mind where love and perfect holiness abide? Truth must be all-inclusive, if it be truth, if it be the truth at all. Accept no opposites and no exceptions, for to do so is to contradict the truth entirely. So now, in the second paragraph of this lesson, we have a fundamental component of the Course in Miracles, which is the idea of a split mind, or the idea of perceiving duality. Will I perceive duality, or will I accept the truth? When I accept the truth, I will then see through the vision of the Holy Spirit and the Christ consciousness. I will see the truth. I will be the truth. I will experience the truth. I will not experience duality. I will not experience shifting and changing conditions. One day up, the next day down. Yes, I will still see them. Yes, there will still be night and day. Yes, there will still be male and female, masculine and feminine, up and down, in and out. They will all still, quote unquote, be there, but I will begin to recognize that duality is really part of a dream, part of an illusion, and the reclaiming of the truth, the lightening of my consciousness allows those things to be and have less of a grip on my emotions, on my thinking, on my behavior, and on my experience. So, good news, right? Can fear and sickness enter in a mind where love and perfect holiness abide? The Course says our mind is split. The egoic mind, the mind of selfishness and self-centeredness, the mind of guilt, attracts us. We are attracted to it. We have taught ourselves individually and collectively that we are guilty, that we are sinners, that we are capable of destruction and division and hate. Course in Miracles says Au contraire, not really. In a dream, perhaps, as part of an illusion, as part of a simulation in consciousness, perhaps there is duality. And yet, in reality, in the truth, this is not true at all. I am as God created me. You are as God created you, perfect, whole, and complete. And you have done nothing to change that. You are experiencing, you are having an experience of that change through your own choice by volunteering for it, for a grand experiment, if you will, a grand adventure into the darkness, into lower vibrations, into the realm of lower vibrations, if you will. But it is not your true state. It is not my true state. Truth must be all inclusive, if it be the truth at all, accept no opposites and no exceptions. For to do so is to contradict the truth entirely. Salvation is the recognition that the truth is true and nothing else is true. This you have heard before, but may not yet accept both parts of it. That the truth is true, number one, and that nothing else is true, number two. Or, number one, as we read in the introduction, nothing real can be threatened, and number two, nothing unreal exists. Why am I disturbed, the Course asks, by figures in a dream? When I wake up, we read yesterday, we discussed yesterday. Go to the YouTube channel, the link's in the bio. Go to the YouTube channel and listen to yesterday's live. We talked about dreams, sleeping, waking up from sleeping, waking up from dreams. When we wake up in the morning, we wake up and we realize, if we have been dreaming, that the world we just thought was real is not real. Doesn't really exist, even though I thought I was moving around in that world. I thought I was interacting with other people and things in that dream. In fact, nothing was happening, so to speak, quote unquote. Without going too deeply into different kinds of dreams, the natures of dreams, maybe I was in a different dimension. No, it was too real. It was not a dream. Leaving all that aside, let's just say, from a very childlike sense, from a beginner mind, if we think about dreams and then waking up, the dream fades away. We realize it was not real. And then we begin to operate in the real world. What we learned yesterday, what we talked about yesterday, what the Course points out is you simply have awoken into another dream. You're still dreaming. You haven't really awakened yet. You must awaken from the second dream. You must awaken from the waking dream, quote unquote. So go watch the movie Inception and get a picture of dreams within dreams. What is reality? Check out Christopher Nolan, right? Great screenwriter and director. Has several films that question the nature of reality and perception. What is real? What is not real? Christopher Nolan, all his pictures, all his films get into that idea. So, salvation is the recognition that the truth is true and nothing else is true. This you have heard before, but may not yet accept both parts of it. Without the first, the second has no meaning, but without the second is the first no longer true. Truth cannot have an opposite. This cannot be too often said and thought about, right? Prayer and contemplation, meditation, truth cannot have an opposite. Write that down. Think about it. Contemplate it. Maybe journal about it. Write a little essay. Truth can have no opposite. Our true mind, the true state of consciousness, is non-dual. For if what is not true is true as well as what is true, then part of truth is false, and truth has lost its meaning. Nothing but the truth is true, and what is false is false. This is the simplest of distinctions, yet the most obscure. Very simple, but not easy to recognize, not easy to embody, not easy to put into place, not easy to experience. Only the truth is true. The truth has no opposite. I am witnessing, I am perceiving one thing. In fact, I'm perceiving my own consciousness outside of myself. That's the truth. That truth is true. Everything I see is part of the content of my own consciousness. This is the simplest of distinctions, yet the most obscure. Only the truth is true. What is false, but not because it is a difficult distinction to perceive. It is concealed behind a vast array of choices that do not appear to be entirely your own, and thus the truth appears to have some aspects that belie consistency or contradict consistency, but do not seem to be but contradictions introduced by you. Okay, so it says it right there. Contradictions. Only the truth is true. I'm only perceiving, as Neville Goddard says, I'm only perceiving my own consciousness. Everything I see is my own self pressed out. Kind of a mind bender, kind of trippy once you really start thinking about it. So what are all these little pieces and fragments? I'm certainly the content of my consciousness that is reflected as Washington, D.C., let's say, couldn't possibly be a part of my own consciousness. That stuff drives me crazy, right? You may say to yourself, I don't like that stuff. That corruption, that self-serving, that uncaring attitude of Washington, D.C. couldn't possibly be a part of my own consciousness, could it? And yet, only the truth is true, and you shall know the truth. The truth shall set you free. But first, it's going to piss you off, right? The contradictions in my own mind, the unwillingness to examine my own consciousness, the content of my own mind to its depth, to every jot and tittle, is quite an undertaking. Does take discipline, does take commitment, intention, persistence. As God created you, You must remain unchangeable, with transitory states by definition false. And that includes all shifts in feeling, alterations in conditions of the body and the mind, in all awareness and in all response. The Course counsels, the Course teaches that my response can be the same to everyone and to everything. My response can be loving to everyone and to everything, forgiving to everyone and to everything, allowing to everyone and everything. This is the all-inclusiveness which sets the truth apart from falsehood, and the false kept separate from the truth as what it is. Is it not strange that you believe to think you made the world you see is arrogance? God made it not. Of this you can be sure. What can he know of the ephemeral, the sinful and the guilty, the afraid, the suffering and lonely, and the mind that lives within a body that must die? So that question right there, that series of sentences, right? Have you ever wondered or thought about or rejected God? Because how could God create the world that we see? The Course in Miracles answers that question. Esoteric Christianity answers that question. The universal curriculum answers that question. And it says God has nothing to do with this. We've made this mess. I've made this mess, which is the central point of this lesson. The power of decision is my own. I have to become brutally honest with myself. I have to plumb the depths of my own state of mind, of my own state of being. I've made this mess. I'm the one who's guilty. You're not guilty. I'm guilty. There is no you. There is no one out there messing things up. There is no one out there establishing protective tariffs and ruining the economy. I am the one with quote unquote protective tariffs, ruining my own spiritual economy, if you will. Everything I see outside of myself, through the power of the Holy Spirit, can be and is symbolic. It is a metaphor. There is another way of looking at it, interpreting it, in order to help establish the truth in my own consciousness. The Course sets out to facilitate that state of mind, that state of being, that consciousness. So by practicing the workbook lessons, the daily workbook lessons, supplementing my spiritual practice with the Course in Miracles, with the workbook lessons, with a quick read of the text, a corresponding portion of the text daily, I will slowly but surely advance in the light, advance in consciousness, advance in awakening. What can God know of the ephemeral, the sinful and the guilty, the afraid, the suffering and lonely, and the mind that lives within a body that must die? You but accuse him of insanity to think he made a world where such things seem to have reality. He is not mad, yet only madness makes a world like this. To think that God made chaos contradicts his will. To think that God made chaos contradicts his own will, invented opposites to truth, and suffers death to triumph over life. All this is arrogance. Humility would see at once these things are not of him. And can you see what God created not? To think you can is merely to believe you can perceive what God willed not be. And what could be more arrogant than this? So a very interesting discussion of arrogance and humility there. I'm going to keep moving on and not say too much about that. But again, go to acim.org, use the search function, search the word arrogance, search the word humility. This workbook lesson will come up, so you can read it for yourself, or just go to lesson 152. Arrogance and humility, according to the Course in Miracles. Let us today be truly humble and accept what we have made as what it is. The power of decision is our own. Decide but to accept your rightful place as co-creator of the universe, and all you think you made will disappear. Everything that is untrue will fade away. If I decide that's what I want, if I intend that's what I want, what rises to awareness then will be all there ever was eternally as it is now. It's already there. It already exists. God's perfect creation. I have simply removed myself from it, placed defenses and blocks to the awareness of that perfection in my own mind. And so now, through the grace of the Holy Spirit, through humility, through prayer and meditation, I am now removing those blocks to the awareness of love's presence. I am now giving up my defenses against the truth, and it will take the place of self-deceptions made but to usurp the altar to the Father and the Son. Today we practice true humility, abandoning the false pretense by which the ego seeks to prove it arrogant. Only the ego can be arrogant, but truth is humble, right? The meek shall inherit the earth. So the power of decision is our own. We accept what we are, and we join in glad acknowledgement that lies are false and only the truth is true. The power of decision is my own. This day I will accept myself as what my Father's will created me to be. Then wait in silence, giving up all self-deceptions, and humbly ask yourself that God reveal himself to you. So that is the lesson for the day. Go check it out. Go read about it. Go study it. Go contemplate it. Practice it. See what happens. I can tell you, things will change. Perceptions will change. Things will become different. So over to a portion of the text now. Corresponding portion of the text is chapter 18, section 3, entitled Light in the Dream. Light. God said, let there be light. Let there be awareness. Let there be an open, willing consciousness. Sunyata, emptiness. Let there be silence. Let there be peace. Let there be light in the dream. So yesterday we talked about and read about the concept that the Holy Spirit and actually miracles can only happen in the dream. Miracles, the action of miracles is to dispel the illusion. Miracles, the power of the miracle, the cause of the miracle originates outside of time and space. It does not follow the laws of time and space, which are restrictive and confining of the complete freedom, total freedom of the spirit. And so miracles caused from outside time and space rearrange time and space, heal consciousness, heal the mind, thus changing our experience, healing our experience, healing the body of our affairs. The light in the dream first will be improved, then the dream will be abandoned. We will completely wake up, the dream will fade away, Course in Miracles says. You can read Gary Renard's book. Gary Renard has written about the Course in Miracles. You can read his book called The Disappearance of the Universe. Disappearance of the Dream. Interesting book. Gary Renard. You can also check him out online on YouTube. Lots of commentary from Gary Renard. You can also look up Ken Wapnick, the editor of Course in Miracles, helped Helen Schuckman and William Thetford get the Course in Miracles in order, tighten it up, helped publish it. Ken Wapnick, another teacher of the Course in Miracles, explainer in chief of the Course in Miracles. You can take it with a grain of salt. You can take everything with a grain of salt. You can take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. The Course in Miracles itself says it is just an instrument to facilitate the recognition of your own guru, your own teacher, the Holy Spirit within you. Your higher self is in charge of this process. Course in Miracles is just an instrument. It's a tool. It's a permission slip, as Bashar says, to help us to awaken, to help us to come to the truth and the light. So the light in the dream, let's see what it says here. You who have spent your life in bringing truth to illusion, reality to fantasy, have walked the way of dreams. For you have gone from waking to sleeping and on to yet a deeper sleep. Each dream has led to other dreams, and every fantasy that seemed to bring a light into the darkness but made the darkness deeper. Your goal was darkness in which no ray of light could enter. An incredible sentence right there, just plopped down right in the middle of the text. A profound esoteric truth right there. The goal was darkness. The mission was darkness, in which no ray of light could enter. Right? We were presented with a thought at which the Son of God forgot to laugh, the Course says. The thought, the question, who am I, was presented to consciousness. The Son of God, each of us, forgot to laugh. And so here we are, deep in the darkness where no ray of light can enter, allegedly. You sought a blackness so complete that you could hide from truth forever in complete insanity. What you forgot, here's the salvation, here's the answer, here's the solution. What you forgot was simply that God cannot destroy himself. The light is in you. Darkness can cover it, but cannot put it out. Therefore, the light in the dream, as the light comes nearer, you will rush to darkness, shrink from the truth, sometimes retreating to the lesser forms of fear, sometimes to stark terror, but you will advance because your goal is the advance from fear to truth. The goal you accepted is the goal of knowledge for which you signified your willingness. Fear seems to live in darkness, and when you are afraid, you have stepped back. Let us join then quickly in an instant of light, a holy instant, the Course calls it, and it will be enough to remind you that your goal is light, right? So the goal has changed. The metaphor my own teacher likes to use is of a clock. And the idea is, the metaphor is that we descended from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And now we are ascending from 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock. That is a circle. I'm the Alpha and the Omega, right? I shall end up where I began, back in the Father's bosom, back in heaven from which I departed in consciousness, right? It is the figure of the snake eating its own tail, the Ouroboros. That is the idea, that is the metaphor. That is what's happening, just one big round trip. We bought a round trip ticket. Our ticket was not one way, descent into complete insanity. No, descent into complete insanity, and then ascent from complete insanity to perfect sanity. So truth has rushed to meet you since you called upon it. If you knew who walks beside you on the way that you have chosen, fear would be impossible. You do not know because the journey into darkness has been long and cruel, and you have gone deep into it. Excuse me. An allusion here to multiple lifetimes, quote unquote, reincarnation, eternal recurrence, multiple timelines, multi-dimensional experience, something. The journey into darkness has been long and cruel, and you have gone deep into it, deeper than you think. There's a lot of baggage in the subconscious mind from this life and many other lives. So we're going into the subconscious, or the collective unconscious, as Jung referred to it, to do the shadow work. Shadow work goes far beyond this little lifetime. The journey into darkness has been long and cruel, and you have gone deep into it. Okay? Bet. We used to say bet. What do we say now? Cap? No cap? No cap? You have gone deep into it? No cap? I don't know. A little flicker of your eyelids closed so long has not yet been sufficient to give you confidence in yourself. So long despised. You go toward love, still hating it and terribly afraid of its judgment upon you. And you do not realize that you are not afraid of love, but only of what you have made of it. You are advancing to love's meaning and away from all illusions in which you have surrounded it. When you retreat to the illusion, your fear increases, for there is little doubt that what you think it means is fearful. Yet what is that to us who travel surely and very swiftly away from fear? You who hold your brother's hand also hold mine, hand of Jesus, the hand of the Christ, the hand of Christ, of the Christ consciousness. For when you joined each other, you were not alone. Where two or more gathered, there I am. Do you believe that I would leave you in the darkness, that you agreed to leave with me? Fear must disappear before you now. Be tempted not to snatch away the gift of faith you offered to your brother. Gift is given forever, for God himself received it. You cannot take it back. You have accepted God. The holiness of your relationship is established in heaven. You do not understand what you accepted, but remember that your understanding is not necessary. All that was necessary was merely the wish to understand. That wish was the desire to be holy. The will of God is granted you, for you desire the only thing you ever had or ever were. A great, wonderful explanation there of the salvation of the world that already exists, that is already complete, that was already complete. This dream has ended. This dream of death has ended. This illusion is over. You just have to continue to practice that truth, seemingly a contradiction, but in reality, not a contradiction. In reality, only the truth is true. And so we have to let that sink in, really sink in. Been reading about Jung lately and his dreams and his active imagination, his process of what he called active imagination. And as Gary Lockman says in his book, in Jung's dreams, which Jung writes about, Carl Jung, right? He's always descending. He's going downstairs. He goes into the cellar, and there's another door. Then he goes deeper than the cellar. Then there's another door, and he goes deeper. He's having these dreams. He's having these visions, and he continues to have them. Right? And I don't know if Jung says it himself or if Gary Lockman mentions it, but it is a descent into the unconscious, into the depths of the unconscious. I'm sure, of course, Carl Jung probably mentions it. Right? And it is with the tool of active imagination, what the Course in Miracles calls vision. We'll see with the vision of the Holy Spirit, we'll see with the vision of Christ what is being spoken of here today. What we're talking about, what we're reading about, can be described in one sense as active imagination or the vision of the Holy Spirit. Purifying the unconscious, processing all the darkness, all the shadow work that needs to be processed within us through the power of the Holy Spirit. And what the Course in Miracles says is, hey, use this practice to save yourself some time, because here, as you begin to understand that the Holy Spirit operates outside of time and space, you can save thousands of years, the Course in Miracles says. Again, another allusion to reincarnation or multiple lifetimes. You can save an immense amount of time. You can finish the race quickly, easily, and effortlessly through the help of the Holy Spirit, through the action of miracles. So why not study the curriculum? Why not practice the exercises to accelerate, to ease the transition from duality to non-duality, from division to unity? Each instant that we spend together will teach you that the goal is possible and will strengthen your desire to reach it. So even before we reach the goal, right? Each instant, each holy instant, each disciplined day of practice will teach me that the goal is in fact possible, that the goal exists, and will strengthen my desire to reach it. Again, I can confirm this myself. I don't need a priest to tell me this. I don't need a guru to tell me this. At this point, I simply read that sentence and think about it for a minute. Yes, that's true. Each instant spent practicing, each instant spent on a spiritual practice is not only cumulative, it is multiplied. It is, what is the word I'm looking for? Not algebraic. It is more than cumulative. It multiplies itself by the power of 10. There's a word for that, which I can't think of right now. Thank you very much. Your desire is now in complete accord with all the power of the Holy Spirit's will. No little faltering footsteps that you may take can separate your desire from her will and from her strength. So it goes on, continuing to talk about the light in the dream, strengthening of the light in the dream, awakening in the dream. And here is, as we finish up for today, here's the last paragraph of this lesson. Every light in heaven goes with you, not one ray that shines forever in the mind of God, but shines on you. Heaven is joined with you in your advance to heaven. When such great lights have joined with you to give the little spark of your desire the power of God himself, can you remain in darkness? When such great lights, when everyone who has gone before us, when all the great avatars and masters that have gone before us help us on our journey, help us on our advance to heaven, can we remain in darkness while we are receiving that kind of help? You and your brother are coming home together. After a long and meaningless journey that you undertook apart that led nowhere, you have found your brother, and you will light each other's way. And from this light will the great rays extend back into darkness and forward unto God to shine away the past, and so to make room for his eternal presence in which everything is radiant in the light. So please, I beg you, help yourself. Go read this yourself, chapter 18, section 3, online at acim.org. That is all for me for today. That is all for this presentation, this discussion. I'm here every day at 11 a.m. Central Time to cover the lesson of the day, to talk about the lesson of the day, read the lesson of the day with you together. Then I will take it and upload it to the YouTube channel. So also go to the YouTube channel at Steve O'C's, or the link is in the bio. Go check it out. There's a lot of good material there, good discussions there, great interactions there. Go click around. You don't have to listen to all of it. You can put it on in the background while you're driving, or while you're cleaning the house, or while you're working in the yard. I appreciate you. Peace and blessings. Thanks for being here. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments today. Thank you for the follows. I will talk to you tomorrow. Love you. Peace. Have a great day. Have a great Sunday. Ciao.